And now for something completely different, infotainment. Now throughout this episode you probably have noticed that screen has been Apple CarPlay, and this is the first integration for Porsche of Apple CarPlay. But really what's going on here is not so much infotainment as it really is a new computer, because there's more hardware going on underneath here than there is the Apple CarPlay system. Now we've driven a number of Apple CarPlay systems. We've driven Audi, Mercedes, Ferrari, Hyundai, Cadillac, Chevy, 2-time Chevy actually. So you can go back and check those out. So before we get into CarPlay here, let's go into the UX of Porsche. And you can see they've kind of mimicked the design of Apple or even Android here. More Apple with the icons, but it's kind of like a grayscale thing, which I don't love. But then there's a couple of things that you need to understand going on here. First and foremost, look at the screen. Obviously, they've borrowed a page out of the Apple book of it being flush now with a dash, or like an iMac. And second, let's go into the nav here. And this is the nav of Porsche. So let's go to the map here. And notice it looks like a map from previous Porsches. A little bit better graphics. But notice as I put my hand closer to it, it's got a proximity sensor. So it picks up my proximity. But the big thing you want to notice here is, and this is something we've been talking about for Cadillac for a long time, is it's got a much faster processor. So you got the pinch and the zoom, but notice how much quicker this works than any other system I've seen in a car. And look at this, you can even go all the way down to the Earth itself, kind of like play around with the globe like you're the master of the universe here. But I digress. So this is the system that comes from Porsche. But let's go back to the main screen. Let's go back to Apple CarPlay. And the system kind of works like other systems. Probably one of the better integrations in that you can use it as a touch screen, which much prefer than the Audi system or the Mercedes system where you can't touch the screen. And number two, notice how much faster this is. That's because of the processor in the actual computer. Get it? Why I said computer? But in addition to better usability because of the processor, there's a whole map issue. Remember in the Mercedes where you could only choose between the Apple Maps or the maps of Mercedes, but you couldn't use both if you had Apple CarPlay connected. Well, here, not only can you use both, but if we go back, the Panamera or the Cayenne introduced this screen, this round screen in the gauge cluster, which could be a trip computer, telephone, or navigation. Well, think about this. I've got now this set to the Porsche map, okay? And the Porsche map is duplicated over here. But I can go back to the home button here, click Apple CarPlay, and I can have the Porsche map here, I can have the Apple map here. So you can really be a map kind of geek and have this, or in really better cases like this where I don't have as much cell coverage, I can use the Porsche map simultaneous with using my phone for podcasts, audiobooks, or music. So overall, much better integration of Apple CarPlay, but this is the first time I'm seeing a much faster processor make this significantly more usable. And frankly, this is something other manufacturers could actually learn from, is the faster processor, especially Cadillac.